Alright, so now I'm going to remove 2 screws. Sorry about the bad angle. And we're going to hope. Figure the worst thing that's going to happen is I screw up one of those little things and have to call the TV repairman, which would put me in, if I had to, it won't cost me any more to try and do it myself and mess something up a little bit than it would to call the TV repairman from the very beginning and have him charge me the $400 or whatever to replace the color wheel. This one's a little tighter. Again, sorry about the bad lighting, but limited space, and I'm doing this in my living room. Okay, 2 screws are out. I'm going to set those aside. All right. Oh, I see what's going on here. All right. Pause this and adjust the camera. All right. The reason why the color wheel housing was kind of stuck on there and I was having trouble getting it off is because there's this little rubber gasket that was just kind of stuck onto the color wheel housing itself. So I just wiggled it a little bit and the thing came right off. So we'll set that aside and see what we do. Okay, so I've kind of been stuck here for the last few minutes because I've had trouble getting this color wheel cover off. Then I noticed this 3rd screw. That screw had been covered in dust and was barely visible. So now that I know that it exists down there, which the instructions probably said there were 3 screws, but I missed it. This thing comes right out, and look, there's the color wheel. So let's see what we got to do next. I just did something and I'm gonna see if you guys can pick it up. I just gave the color wheel a little spin, and I don't know if you can hear it on the tape, but I can hear the bearings rubbing. So imagine that, but at 7,000 RPMs. You can also see wear on the wheel, which I'm sure it's also dusty, but I'm sure the wear on the wheel is caused from it rubbing somewhere. Wow, that is really dusty. Alright, so got the old color wheel out, and UPS has arrived with a new color wheel. Had to take a break there for a few hours and wait for them. So that's what the new color wheel assembly looks like. And it looks pretty much just like the old color wheel assembly, except for not as dusty and much better shape. Now I'm not going to touch the color wheel at all, and now I got to follow the instructions in reverse to get the new color wheel in. So I'm going to pause this for a second. Alright. So I slid the new color wheel assembly back into place. It was a little odd because the rubber gasket that seals it in It was a little bit out of place, so had to play with it, but it wasn't that bad. Alright, so now I'm going to screw it back in. Let me get the screws, hold on. Okay. Screw number 1. Screw number 2, maybe? Alright, I figured out what my issue was with the screws. I was using the wrong screws. The screws I was using were too short. So now I'm using the right screws. Hopefully it'll go back together smoothly. Thankfully I was videotaping this, so I was able to go back and look at what I had taped and figured out that I had used the wrong screws. This one is a little trickier. There we go. Now, on the old color wheel, there were some grommets in these, in the corners. I can show you. Let's see. That grommet right there. The new color wheel doesn't come with these grommets, and from what I read on the internet, you don't need them. The holes don't on the new color wheel don't fit it anyway. It doesn't look like. All right. Second screw. And I'll screw in the third one. Ooh. Alright, now hook up the wiring again. Now that weird looking cable, turned out it was correct. It just slides in. There's no real, basically there's no real connector on this cable. It just slides right into the slot, which is weird. Hopefully that's in there. Hook this guy back up. Okay. Now